And South Africans are celebrating the New Year differently this year, and that's mostly because popular entertainment spots around the country are closed today. Northern Cape residents, however, can still enjoy the beaches in the province, and that's where our reporter Nobesuthu Hejana is right now, while Barry Bateman is out in Zita Park in Pretoria, and then Lindo Guhle is in Vilakazi Street in Soweto. Let's start with Nobesuthu. How's it looking there where you are?
Well, Rafi, well, just like any year, it's tradition for South Africans when they are ushering the new year, they go to the beaches. And here in Northern Cape, it's no different, especially for the fact that their beaches remain open as announced by the president. And I'm going to be speaking to Brandon, who's been here since the early hours of this morning. Brandon, we spoke about how COVID-19 has affected or impacted South Africans. It's New Year now, it's 2021. What are you hoping this year different from what we've experienced last year?
The thing with difference I want from next year is mostly to just this COVID thing to get done with. We can get a vaccine and everybody that's sick, we can help them. Like we also here in Port Nolloth now, we're doing the social distancing, but still we want to wash off 2020. It's been a bad year, it's been a long year. I've been working now from December only, didn't got a job, so I think me being here is just to relax and have a new sight for 2021.
And obviously there's curfew, no alcohol is being sold at any restaurants or bars or taverns. So what have you been getting up to celebrate New Year?
I've been only busy at home, spending time with family, doing some stuff that I didn't do before at home, relaxing, getting ready for work on Monday. So I've been just there. The thing with curfew is if you just need to be self-disciplined and be at home at the curfew time. And it's law. The president told us to be at home and just to stop the spread of COVID-19.
All right, thank you very much. Well, Rafi, we were talking about the law and respecting the law. Earlier on, we did see a number of police officers actually patrolling this area to ensure that people are wearing their masks and are social distancing. And a lot of people actually around here are indeed doing that. I'm not sure if you're going to be I'm just going to step away and just allow my colleague Asanda to show you the number of people who are here, who are wearing their masks to ensure that they are adhering to the protocols as being instructed by our government. But it's a fun time here in Northern Cape. People are having fun outside, going to the beach and swimming. So I'm not sure what my colleagues are doing there in Pretoria and Soweto.
Let's find out, Nobesuthu. Let's go to Barry in Pretoria. Zita Park, that's where you are, Barry. How's it going there?
Well, it's very quiet, much like the other places that I've been to around the city of Tshwane. We started off this morning at the Fountains Resort, which is traditionally one of the real hot spots for people gathering to get the camp chairs and cooler boxes out and get the shisanyama going. It was closed today, as like all the other parks in the city. And this is Zita Park. It's also one of those that gathers many people. There are the jungle gyms here, and of course there's a swimming pool, and you might be able to see behind me. Ordinarily, these would be filled with children jumping for joy and climbing and having a great day out with their families and friends. But unfortunately, because of those lockdown regulations, there aren't any people here at all. But where I was a little bit earlier was at the Groenkloof Nature Reserve. Which parks, the parks that are allowed to be open are the ones where people can go for hikes. So you're still allowed to get out and stretch those legs, maybe take your dog out for a walk, but you're not allowed to come to places like this where there would be playing on jungle gyms and going to pools and so on. But this is a trend that we have seen, and I was speaking to the MMC for Community Safety, who was out all night observing how the public had obeyed the lockdown restrictions for the New Year's Eve period. And she was saying, despite initial concerns that there were going to be flare-ups in places, that for the most part, the people of the city of Tshwane obeyed the rules. There was that 9 o'clock curfew. Even before then, the streets were quiet. There were a handful of people that were issued with fines. There were no road accidents that were reported to the Tshwane Metro Police, and that's perhaps a significant number. We've been talking all day about what happened at Baragwanath Hospital and the fact that their trauma unit was empty. If the goal is to ensure that beds are free in order to look after COVID patients, I think it's certainly, that has been achieved here in the city of Tshwane. So unfortunately, despite it being quite a lovely day in the capital city, our wonderful places like this are quiet and people are staying at home.
Following the rules as is expected of them. Barry, thank you for that. Linda, you at Vilakazi Street. It's usually a busy, buzzing place. What is happening there today?
Well, Rapoa, you're speaking about the usual scenes that would be seen here, but the picture actually tells the story here. We are at the most busiest place in Vilakazi, unfortunately, and untimely so, that car obstructing some of the view here. But you will see that some of the biggest restaurants around Vilakazi Street, that is Sakumzi, coated with the green of Heineken there, as well as other restaurants have in fact decided that they will be closed down. And you see, Rapoa, the fact that they cannot trade alcohol simply means that the business that they would normally see is not going to be coming in. But these are the scenes we've been seeing throughout Soweto, throughout, in fact, Johannesburg. We started off in Zoo Lake, and that was where we saw that no one was there. Patrols of JMPD officers and JMPD vehicles were just moving around. But one of the things we've also done was to move to Thokoza Park here in Soweto, as well as in Jablan Mall. And it's the same story, really, Ropiwa. There are no people. People are staying at home as requested by the president. But in turn, that does reflect on the fact that while we battle this particular pandemic, the lives are the ones that are intended to be saved, but also livelihoods such as these restaurants behind me are in fact closed down and they are affected by this pandemic. But these are some of the scenes we've been seeing. In Jablan Mall, Ropiwa, you'd find long queues, snaking queues in and around that particular mall. Today we've just seen a couple of cars in the parking lot, nothing as far as queues are concerned. It just goes to show that in fact it is an unprecedented and a very different scene throughout this particular festive season as compared to what we've seen through a year in, year out in these particular areas.
Very unprecedented scenes in some of the parts of the country that are supposed to be buzzing and busy. So our reporters there, Nobesuthu Hejana in the Northern Cape, Barry Bateman in Tshwane and Lindo Guhle Xulu in Johannesburg.